Now, your Washington Nationals.
See you later.
On Masson.
That's what I'm talking about.
And streaming live on the Masson app. It all starts right now.
Another year of Nationals baseball is upon us. And with it being exactly a month from opening day, why not bring you our first broadcast of spring training from the newly renamed Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches? The Nationals and the Boston Red Sox ready to go head-to-head today from West Palm Beach. Fans making their way in. And C.J. Abrams coming off a big second half of the 2023 season. Trying to follow that up with a big 2024 atop the Nationals lineup. Dan Kolko, Kevin Franzen here with you for the first Masson spring training game of 2024. Watch out for the mug there.
Oh, and Bob.
Bob's here in spirit, and he'll be with us on Sunday as well for broadcast number 2. And Franny, the Nationals pick up 71s last year, a nice step in the right direction. This spring filled with a lot of optimism, both coming off last year and now getting to see some of these young kids in person in spring.
Well, what's great is early parts of spring training, you see the whole wide view of the organization, where you're at, where the standing is of, like, after the post-Juan Soto trade. You got some pretty dang good guys there.
Yep.
Right? That's huge. They've started to perform. You see the James Wood, the Dylan Cruz out of the draft last year to go along with the C.J. Abrams, right? I mean, there's so much to like about this team right now that you hope continues on. I mean, there's a lot of positive going through that camp.
Yeah, and after I just got back yesterday from West Palm Beach, I can tell you the vibes are good in Nationals camp. Here are some spring headlines for you. A couple free agent acquisitions on one-year contracts. Joey Gallo, the big bat. Nick Senzel, originally scheduled to be in the lineup today, still under the weather, so he will not play today, but he'll man third base for the Nats this season. The young guys, Cruz, Wood, Robert Hassel III, have gotten off to a fantastic first big league camp. James Wood, 2 bombs already, and he'll appear some point later on today. Jesse Winker and Zach Davies in camp on non-roster deals, and Winker's seeming like he has a good chance to break camp with the team. Some tough news today with the Nationals officially announcing that Mason Thompson will have Tommy John surgery. That'll be his second, and that'll open up a spot in the Nationals bullpen, maybe for a non-roster guy like Derek Law or Matt Barnes. Jackson Rutledge will take the mound for the Nationals here today against Houston. This is a big, tall right-hander, Franny, 6'8", who got 4 appearances at the big league level last year.
Yeah, and he got domed up in his first one and came all the way through. Look, the great thing about Jackson, this is his second appearance so far in spring training. He's healthy, ready to go.
And he'll face the Boston Red Sox when we bring you right back for Game 1 on Masson. It's 79 degrees down in West Palm Beach. A little bit of wind out of the south-southeast. Fans are ready. And so is Jackson Rutledge. Fastball misses inside to David Hamilton, and we are underway with our first spring broadcast of 2024. There's Rutledge, the 24-year-old right-hander. First-round pick back in 2019. Gets the inside edge with that heater. And Franny, we saw some good after a rough debut from Jackson Rutledge last year.
Yeah, for the 6'8", right-hander, what you are hoping to see a little bit more this year is finding a way to get the left-handers out. Added a cutter, try to neutralize them, because that was the problem last year for him. When you're that big and you're trying to find consistency, it's tough, right? We always hear about that with the taller guys.
Goes off speed, and Hamilton fouls it away. Hamilton, an 8th-round pick of Milwaukee back in 2019. Got 15 games with the Red Sox last year. It's a fastball out to center. Victor Robles back shy of the track and squeezes it for out number 1.
Come on, baby.
That's what you love to see right there. Fastball down the middle. Soft contact.
The Red Sox lineup behind David Hamilton. Ceddanne Rafaela will be the number 2 hitter. They expect a lot out of him this year. Bobby Dalbec, probably the biggest name that made the trip due east from Fort Myers for this battle in West Palm.
Yeah, they were in Jupiter yesterday. West Palm today.
You don't see too many long trips like that in spring anymore.
Well, Fort Myers, I mean, what is that, an hour away?
From West Palm?
Yeah.
That's like 2.5, 2:45.
Show my geography. Nicely done. Way to go.
Rafaela to a 241 average last year with Boston. Check swing and swings through it for strike 2. They want this guy, Franny, to maybe be their everyday center fielder. A lot of potential, especially defensively, and they'll see if the bat can come with it.
Yeah, defensively he is as good as it gets for a young guy in center field. Great reads, great speed to go with it. It really changes their look when you look at it. If Yoshida goes to left or just DHs, maybe to right, Tyler O'Neill being there, Jaron Duran. I mean, you have a lot of options, but he's the best one in center field.
The 2-2 from Rutledge. Off the end of the bat, squibbed foul. Rutledge got off to a good start to his spring training. Went 2 clean, easy innings in the Nationals' first spring training game. Filled up the strike zone, was efficient.
Well, one thing we saw last year, just in his short time in the big leagues in the 4 starts, only 6 walks, right? Not a big walk guy. Not spraying it all over the place, trying to find a little bit more of that, what we were talking about, the soft contact against left-handers, finding that ability to do it. They hit him hard, but he wasn't afraid to challenge. That's a challenge pitch right there. It looks close, but the angle that we have right now, I mean, that's yanked. Good sinker that he has. I mean, it's an above-average sinker when you look at the movement on it. 18 inches of horizontal run on it. Got some good vert down. It's being able to control it against righties. So everything going into righties. That lefty pitch that we talked about, the cutter that he added and is trying to get comfortable with, how huge is that going to be for him against these guys?
So the 1-out walk to Rafaela brings up Wilyer Abreu. Fouls off the first offering. Talking to Rutledge the other day, said getting through last year healthy and getting able to build up that innings count around 140 was huge for him. Had battled a host of injuries over the last few years prior to 2023. Gets a strike to even the count. He said coming out of last year, Franny, his focus didn't need to be as much on stabilizing the shoulder and building up arm strength and upper body strength as it was previously. Now his focus is building up the lower half. He increased his hip mobility and wants to use that strong lower half, maybe take some of the strain off of that arm, that shoulder, and help him propel himself down the mound and hopefully stay healthy that way.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about that all the time from guys. Just the protection of the arm isn't so much just the arm itself, it's the legs. How long can you stay in those legs, push off, create the angles, take less stress off the arm? I mean, the hip mobility stuff that we heard about with Josiah last year, trying to get a little bit more, and he did.
Right in there with an 0-2 heater, and Jackson Rutledge, a strikeout of Abreu for out number 2.
Nice little backdoor cutter right there. Love it. And I think that's the biggest thing for guys when you talk to them about introducing a new pitch. What's the success rate? What is successful for you? Is it the contact? Is it the throwing strikes? Is it the quality of strike? That right there, beyond quality.
Misses to Bobby Dahlbeck, 4th round pick of Boston in 2016.
A lot of pop.
25 homers for the Red Sox back in 2021. Last year spent most of his time at AAA, and looks at a fastball right in there. Only 21 games for the big club in 2023, but did hit 33 bombs at AAA.
Like I said,
A lot of pop.
a lot of pop. The one thing that you will notice this year quite a bit, you know, doesn't matter who's going to be behind the plate, there's going to be a lot more on one knee. Drew Miller's coming up. We're seeing him on one knee with guys on base. Last year, nobody on. It was one knee all you want. If you felt comfortable doing it, and you saw the numbers by just the catchers itself, not great. So allowing them to steal that lower strike, or try to at least, giving them the best chance over there. The numbers have shown there's not a big difference as far as wild pitches and stuff. Everyone that shows a wild pitch and wants to say, see, that's one knee. It's not usually the case. It's show the data.
2-1 misses inside.
I think it's going to help Caber quite a bit.
I got your back.
Quite a bit. We saw him wear down a little bit towards the end of the year, but getting that flexibility in the hips, being able to keep your legs fresh, I mean, that's a huge part of it too.
And framing up that low pitch has been a bit of an issue for him in the past.
Not bit, quite. Like
Runner goes. Throw down from Millis is on target.
yeah.
And they're calling that ball 4,
So, but in general right here, whether, you know, it's ball 4 or not, that's not the point. The new rule this year, which they're implementing with the no blocking of the base, is such a benefit to the base runner now, because you can go head first and not feel anything, right? So you're going to see it. Ball 4 doesn't matter, but play it through. I love it. And so you see Luis Garcia, technically, they could have called him for it.
Trying to tippy-toe his way out of there.
You got to get to the front of the base, and it's going to be a bigger issue moving forward. But great throw by Drew Millis.
Right on the money.
On a, I mean, it's a fake throw down, right?
Sure.
Just show off the arm. Love it.
So 2 walks for Rutledge thus far in the first, and here's Pablo Reyes with 2 on and 2 out. Millis, a nice play moving to his right. This was the battery when Rutledge made his big league debut in Pittsburgh. You mentioned
heads up.
Rutledge unable to get out of the way of Millis's throw down to second base on a stolen base attempt. It ricocheted off his head, and
the only reason why we laughed
right field
is because he was fine. Like
they were laughing.
Right, they were laughing. So that's. I remember Dale going out to check on him.
Nationals trainer Dale Gilbert.
Because they were all laughing, he's like, I can't laugh though.
Yeah. Rutledge misses, and it's 3-1 to Reyes, as the big right-hander getting up into the mid-20s here with the pitch count in the first.
Oh, Davey.
We'll have Davey joining us a little later on in our broadcast, as will General Manager Mike Rizzo, Lane Thomas. Got a loaded squad for our headset interviews today. Rutledge gets a call to the outer edge, and it's 3-2.
Daddy strength is coming on, huh, Lane?
Yeah, he became a father this offseason. So did Alex Call, who is out there in left field for the Nationals today. 3-2 pitch coming from Rutledge here as he tries to get out of the first. Up and in. They'll check down to first, and Reyes did not go. So 3 walks from Rutledge here in the first inning, and they're loaded.
Yeah, you got to think that someone's going to come out and maybe talk to him, give him a little time right here. Drew Millis doing a good job of going out, selling him down. One thing that, again, we could say it, not a lot of walks out of Jackson. So this is, you know, we're not used to that. 6 last year. There's Jim Hickey.
Well, one thing Rutledge has talked about this spring is trying to lean more on his fastball this year and not chase swings and misses. Trust that his fastball, the 4-seam, 2-seam combination, can play at this level, and especially that 2-seamer, Franny, you mentioned the run on it, that he can get hitters to beat that thing into the ground and give him some ground ball out. So he, in theory, is not chasing swings and misses maybe as much as he once did.
Sean Doolittle talking to Davey Martinez in his new role this year as a strategist, but also just he's the game planner. He's going in, he's giving you all the game reports.
As Westbrook taps this one to short, C.J. Abrams will go the short way, and Rutledge works around the 3 walks in a scoreless top of the first. Park of the Palm Beaches. Here's the Nationals lineup today against the Boston Red Sox. C.J. Abrams, see a lot of him in the leadoff spot this year as he took control of that position in 2023. Victor Robles up in the number 2 spot. Get a look at Joey Gallo as the cleanup hitter today, and see some young guys as well. Dylan Cruz will bat 5th, and later on in the game, see some James Wood. We'll see some Robert Hassel III, and these guys will face Josh Winkowski.
Yeah, a lot of innings in the bullpen last year. 1 start, big arm. A lot of, you know, they're giving the opportunity for him to start. They're giving a lot of guys opportunities to start this year, but showed the power arm, has a great cutter against left-handers. Comes in bearing at 89 there, but the 4-seam fastball, 96 average on it.
CJ swings through that one. Winkowski drafted by the Blue Jays in 2016, back in the 15th round.
Part of 2 trades, I believe.
Yes.
Steven Matz, and then
it was. Write this down.
I know it was one of those where
Benintendi. Andrew Benintendi. So in a 2-week span, traded from Toronto to the Mets, and then from the Mets to Boston. It's ahead of C.J. Abrams 1-2. Misses high with the fastball. Abrams last year finished with a .245 average, 18 home runs. Stole 47 bases, a huge second half for CJ. Fastball just misses. Winkowski wanted that one.
Well, over under today was 3.5 on it. Spring training for everybody. There's one. See CJ's hands up high, a little bit away from his body this year. It's again in line, and that's a great start right there for CJ Abrams. Yeah, it was nice and in.
3 walks drawn by Red Sox hitters in the top of the first, and C.J. Abrams takes a free pass to begin the bottom half of the first inning, so he's aboard ahead of Victor Robles. Good to see Victor back healthy again. There you see his numbers in 36 games with the Nationals last year, 299. Made a nice improvement putting the ball in play as CJ immediately takes off, and he rips second base on his first opportunity. Second stolen base of spring for the Nationals leadoff man.
Nice job right there. Huge jump. Not a big leg kick, but I mean, they had no chance, even in a clean exchange right there. Great to see. But now this is the part early spring training what Davey wants to see. Execution. What is execution right here? Getting him at least the third. You'd love to see him in, but nice job right there by Victor, looking to get him over.
Robles suffering a back injury relatively early in the season last year that ended up ending his season prematurely. One and two.
Well, what you love from Victor early on last year, not a lot of chase. Not a lot of chase. It was something that you're going, can he last? I mean, we obviously didn't get an opportunity to see, could it last? But it was something that was a big change for him.
Abrams dancing off second as Robles fouls it off right side.
But look at where the miss was. Right side. You saw the effort trying to go to the right side. That's the stuff that I feel like there's a lot of intent, right? When coaches, hitting coaches, Darnell Coles, new hitting assistant hitting coach Chris Johnson, love to see is intent. I'm trying to get that guy over.
Robles has already drawn 2 walks this spring. Swings at a high fastball and pops it up right side. Hamilton for out number 1. Bring up Jesse Winker. 30-year-old veteran outfielder. He's going to DH for the Nationals today. You see his numbers there with Milwaukee last year. Battled some injuries. This is a guy that in his 7-year major league career has an OPS of 813. This guy had a couple big years with the Reds. The Nationals think he's healthy and can be a nice little pickup for him.
Yeah. Plus you're looking at a guy that, you know, for a career 370 on base percentage. That's insane. I mean, 100 points higher than his average, 264. Nothing, you know, that's not bad.
Yep. Barrels this one up to the right side, picked by Hamilton on a knee. Abrams will advance to third, but there's 2 away.
But the one thing that you love to see, balls hit hard, right? Like there's certain things in spring training you get a lot of, I'm not going to say fake stats, but there's, you know, some cheapies that happened a little bit more in Florida, maybe in Arizona too.
Wind aided.
Wind aided, very, very much so. Not like the Robert Hassel homer the other day. That was not wind aided. That was a bullet.
Or Brady House, or James Wood, or
so.
Yeah.
You look at contact, right? That's a big part of it. Like, what are my at bats? Quality of at bat. That's a quality at bat.
Joey Gallo with 2 outs, and Abrams over at third.
You said Gallo, right? Not Callow?
I did say Gallo, not Callow.
Nice job.
Well played.
My cousin Vinny.
Well, my cousin Vinny for you, yeah. I was with you. Career numbers here for the 30-year-old slugger.
Throw the batting average out of there. Look at the OPS with the 197 career. I don't care. That's doing damage. There is monster pop there.
Hit 21 homers last year with the Twins. He's bounced around the last couple seasons. But despite the batting average, despite the strikeouts, when he gets into one, it travels. This one on the ground will move Hamilton to his right. 3 plays for the Red Sox second baseman in the first, and we're scoreless as we go top 2. Top 2 at Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches, Nationals and Red Sox, and we're thrilled to be joined now by the Nationals President of Baseball Operations and General Manager Mike Rizzo. Riz, how you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, how are you?
We're doing great.
We're fantastic. It's really bright in here. It's like the sun's getting to us.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get a sunburn.
Yeah. We'll be all right. So you're a few weeks into your time down there in West Palm now. What are your overall assessments as this one squibbed through the right side off the bat of Romy Gonzalez leading off the second? Riz, what are your thoughts on the way camp has gone to this point?
You know, early in camp, it's been a great energy camp. A lot of communications. You know, the young guys really you know, sponging information from the veteran staff that we have. So it's been you know, there's a good vibe here. It's a lot of energy, and we've been playing pretty well. And you know, it's we're at a point where we're at the beginning of camp. We're trying to get stretched out, knock the rust off from the off season, and as we progress in spring training, we'll get you know, hopefully, you know, things will tighten up and play cleaner baseball, and then at the end start playing games and getting ready for the opening day.
With all the young guys that you have there, you know, they're getting a lot of playing time, especially early. What are the things that you're looking at most with them?
Just you know, how they prepare for a start, and you know, how do they take each at bat or each inning that they pitch? You know, how do they prepare for that, and what context do they have to get ready for each batter and that type of thing? You know, pitching. You know, we've made a great concentration on you know, on throwing strikes and getting ahead of hitters and being aggressive and attacking and that type of thing. You know, Rudd had a great outing, the first outing. You know, struggled in the first inning there, but got out of it. But you know, these guys know that it's tough to pitch when you're giving, you know, free passes or pitching behind the count all the time. So focus on, you know, pounding the strike zone and you know, getting guys out over the plate.
Well, that mantra right there, I mean, it's been all over, you know, social media. Everyone's seen it, the signs that I don't care how hard you throw a ball forward, right? And that is a part of it, right? Just understanding, attack the strike zone, get guys to make contact. Whose idea was that?
That was my idea. You know, I wasn't trying to be smart about it. It was just, I mean, trying to give, you know, the pitchers, you know, the onus that you know, the decision makers in this thing want you to throw strikes, and it's so difficult to play in the big leagues if you don't. You see walks turn into doubles, and you know, and turn into runs, and that's unacceptable. You know, when you're a pitcher. Now, we're not saying you know, lay the ball in, you know, over the middle of the plate. You got to have the talent level to be at this, to be in the big league. So you know, we know what you can do. It's you know, it's more, you know, the mantra is more of a mindset than it is anything else. And you know, we want these guys in attack mode and getting after these hitters.
Gonzalez off on the pitch there, able to go first to third on the Contreras single. So Rutledge in some more trouble here in the top of the second as Mark Colsvary steps in. Riz, we had a shot of C.J. Abrams a couple seconds ago as you were talking about some of these young players. It made a huge step forward in the second half of last season. As you think back on that, as Colsvary rips this into left for an RBI single, Gonzalez coming in to score, and it's 1-0 Boston. As you look back on the second half that CJ put up last year, what's the biggest takeaway for you? What was the biggest positive that he can try and replicate in 2024?
Well, I think that you know, the change he made in preparation, that's not within the 9 innings of a baseball game. It's pregame, it's postgame, it's taking care of your body, it's getting in the weight room, it's preparing with the advanced people, and really getting a set, you know, major league routine, both at the plate and in the field, and he made tremendous strides in that, and I think it was no coincidence that it kind of transferred into his you know, into his play, you know, during the games. And I think that, you know, you saw a guy that really got his kind of sea legs there the second half of the season. You know, you're looking also at a guy who hadn't played many minor league games, many minor league at bats, and certainly was kind of new at the big league game. So, you know, the steps he made, you know, it was a great coaching lesson from from some of these veterans. You know, Davey took him under his wing, and Darnell had great impact, and how he really took to the second half of the season.
When you look at CJ, I mean, it's going into the offseason knowing that you got to continue to build. You know, hitting left-handers probably a thing of emphasis with him. What were some of the other things that you guys talked about? You know, go into the offseason, we need you to do this. You know, think about this going, you know, forward.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player with great tools and great skills, but hasn't played much baseball. So he's got to try and find himself. He's got plenty of power. He's got great speed, great range at shortstop. He's got to adjust to the fact that he plays every day. You know, lefties, righties. He's at the top of the order, the table setter. And I think some of the things that we're really focused in, and he's focused in, is he's got to get on base more. Higher on base percentage will lead into more stolen bases and more impact on the team. And he's a guy that has a chance to put up big numbers, both impact power numbers and on defense. So he's a guy that has two-way ability and also a person that should be a guy that we really count on to set the table and to allow the other guys to drive him in.
Rafaela drops one into shallow right. That'll bring in Contreras with the Red Sox second run this inning. Rutledge up to 39 pitches now through his inning and a third plus. Riz, after being down in West Palm for much of the last week, I know that the excitement level over the young talent that's in spring, James Wood, Dylan Cruz, Robert Hassel III, Brady House, it's not just coming from the fans, it's coming from you guys as well. You love what these kids have done, not just in games, but on the backfields, the work that they've put in. As you evaluate guys that have not yet gotten to the big leagues, what are the things that you're looking for, and how do you try and play out a spring training when, maybe these guys have not gotten time at AAA yet, but you see the ability, you see the potential that could come shortly?
Yeah, it's all about growth for those guys. They're just absorbing everything that is thrown at them. It's to play in these big league games in the big league park, against big league pitching is something that that is a great challenge to them. These guys, the guys that we're talking about here that you're seeing in spring training, they don't lack confidence, they don't lack skills, and they don't lack tools. It's just repetition and getting their at bats, and they're seeing it for the first time at an accelerated rate, because that when you're up here, there's you have to play the game at a fine level. You know what I mean? That there's such a fine line between being average and good and great and elite. And I think that each day and every day that goes by, they kind of learn what it takes to be great in this league.
When you look at a guy like, let's say guys, when you go Dylan Cruz, James Wood, Robert Hassel, they have advanced approaches, right? And it's something that translates throughout a lineup, but you also, how could you equate what they do to the big league guys right now, like what they're doing?
Yeah, I think they're learning their preparation. They're learning how to prepare for each pitcher, each at bat. Now, again, they're seeing these pitchers more or less for the first time ever, almost all of them. So it's a game of adjustments. They know that. You have to stay very balanced, and you can't get too high or too low. And what you do in the first week or 2 weeks of spring training, it may be different from the last 2 weeks of spring training or even into the beginning of the season.
As we take a look at Dylan Cruz getting his first game reps out in right field today. He's been in center field exclusively to this point, but that guy can play pretty much anywhere out there. Jackson Rutledge trying to get through the second inning here. 2-2 count on Wilyer Abreu with 2 runners on. He's going to turn towards second and then throw it into center field. A little bit of miscommunication there between Rutledge and C.J. Abrams, and that'll allow Colesbury to move up to third.
A little miscommunication there. Rutledge had something going on, but obviously CJ in the back, and he's got the headset or the pitch comm in his hat, so you wonder if that was just on his own. So like that mistake right there, right? Like those are going to happen early in spring training for so many teams, not just this team right now. When you look at results, what are the results that you look for? Like, how do guys come out of it? Like how do they, what's their reaction? What's the contact level when it comes to the plate? Is it stuff like that?
I mean, I look at how you come back is important. You know, how you adjust. You know, you saw Jonah Doan yesterday, where his first outing was extremely rocky, spraying the ball all over the place, and then the next time out, he was under control. He had command of 3 pitches and did very well. So that's a positive step in his growth. So we look for that with everybody here. You learn from your mistakes. Like I said, we're not going to rust off ourselves right here early in spring training, and as you go, like I said, we want to ramp up to be playing our best baseball at the end of spring training and then at the beginning of the regular season, and that's always the goal.
So Rutledge gets a second-looking strikeout of Wilyer Abreu today. There's 2 outs now with Bobby Dahlbeck up with 2 on. Count now 2-0 to him. Riz, nice step forward from Josiah Gray last year, and Mackenzie Gore was able to make it through the season, with a little blip there at the end with a blister, with a full healthy year, able to get that innings count up. As you look at Mackenzie this year, what would be the next step that you want to see from the talented left-hander? We know the potential, high draft pick and a lot of confidence. What do you want to see out of the lefty this year?
I think with all those starting pitchers, Irvin and Gray and Gore and this kid, Kid Rutledge and the young kids, Parker, and that group, Hers, they have to take the next step in their progression. All 3 of those guys, all 5 of those guys have great stuff. You know what I mean? And it's harness it. And how do you do it every 5 days? The adjustment you have to make as a big league pitcher instead of a minor league starter is you pitch every 5 days. In the minor leagues, you pitch once a week, and that's a big step forward. They all did it last year in a fine fashion. I think we used the least amount of starters as anybody in baseball, and to take that into a full season and then do it again this year. Training wheels are off this year. We're going to let those guys fly and let their talent dictate where they go.
Back-to-back strikeouts from Rutledge. Riz, thanks so much for the time, buddy.
It's my pleasure always, guys.
Thanks, Riz.
I said all Nationals home games are on sale now. Natitude starts here, so get your tickets at nats.com/tickets today. Dylan Cruz looks at a first pitch strike from Josh Winkowski. Number 2 overall pick in last year's draft. Number 6 prospect across Major League Baseball, according to Baseball America. Checked his swing and held back.
Yeah, flat out stud.
That's the expert analysis that we love.
You watch video, you see what he does. It's an advanced approach that you don't see too often from young guys, but we saw it all, 70 walks last year at LSU. Got on base every single game in his college, almost the last 2 years in college.
That's the craziest
It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
But he's able to take it here. Now, he's standing up a little bit taller this year. not so crunched in his legs, where he got stuck a little bit, I think, towards the end of the year. I mean, he's a game changer. Same with James Wood, obviously. We know that. And a healthy Robert Hassel III. I mean, you're looking at guys that they are dudes, what they would call it, the scouting. This is a dude.
Tapper left side. That'll go foul. One thing that stands out to me after watching Dylan Cruz in game action, in lives, on the backfields down in West Palm, is the competitiveness of at-bat. This is a guy that knows the strike zone, that knows how to foul off a tough pitch, that's not going to give at-bats away. As you see the 3 Nationals prospects in the top 100. Cruz leading the way.
And given number 3.
It's a big league number.
Yep. You know why? Because he's a big league player.
After getting taken by the Nationals number 2 overall, got in 32 games as a professional last year across 3 levels. Hit .292 with 5 homers.
And you made the mention that he's playing right field today for the first time in game action. The crazy part that you have with an organization like this right now is you have 5, 6, 7 guys that are unbelievable center fielders.
Drills this one out to right. Back on it is Abreu at the track. He has it. But another baseball barreled by Dylan Cruz this spring.
Second baseman, number 2.
And there's the part that you love. What did he do? Touch second base right there. He was all the way running hard out of the box, all the way to second base. Yes, is that like, oh, a college thing? No, that's just who he is. Run hard out of the box, get all the way to second base, try to see if something happens. He's going to be at third. I mean, that resonates through a lineup, especially with a lot of young guys, impressionable young guys.
Yeah.
And he's one of them.
Luis Garcia Jr. Like to add the junior to his name this year. We're happy to oblige. Louis, now 23 years of age, coming off a major league line last year of .266 with 9 homers and 50 driven in. Down on 3 pitches from Winkowski.
That was filthy. Nice little slider right there from Winkowski. Again, a part of a back end of the bullpen last year. Him and Whitlock, the young guys, to get to Kenley Jansen. I mean, a lot of experience, a lot of big arm out of him. Came up as a starter. They moved him in there, and he wants to be a starter.
Made 15 appearances for Boston 2 years ago. 14 of them were starts. Pitched to a 5.89 ERA. Last year, only 1 start in his 60 appearances. A much better 2.88 as Ildemaro Vargas sends one to the right side. Winkowski covering. And a 1-2-3 for the Nationals here, bottom 2. We'll get Davey Martinez to hop on a headset and join us when we come right back. We go top 3 in West Palm. Some beautiful palm trees out there beyond the berm.
Yeah, those are nice.
In right center. They look great. So does this guy, Davey Martinez. Full beard. He says, I don't need the just for men. I'm letting the gray come in the front. I'm good with it, and you guys will be too. Skip, you look great.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, this gray is a reminder of my my knuckleheads out there. A little bit for CJ, a little bit for Louis.
It's come in over the last couple years.
Whose beard is better, yours or Doolittle's, right next to you?
Hey, so I didn't want Doolittle to feel left out, so I grew the beard for him.
Yeah, that's solid.
Sean.
Look.
Hi, Sean. Davey, you get 2 innings out of Jackson Rutledge as Luis Perdomo comes out of the bullpen, and C.J. Abrams works around that ground ball to retire the first batter of the third, Pablo Reyes. What are your impressions of Rutledge today? Got hit a little bit, some free passes mixed in there.
Got hit. Yeah, some free passes. You know, worked behind a lot. You know, we just got to get him. His first outing threw a lot of strikes, got ahead. The second outing just fell behind a little bit, but you know, his fastball. You know, he's throwing the ball really well. You know, his fastball. He's really working on the secondary pitches a little bit here early in the spring. But overall, I like what I'm seeing so far. He did some stuff mechanically to clean things up a little bit. So you know, we still got plenty of outings left here in spring to get him ready.
Joey Gallo fighting the wind and making the catch in foul ground for out number 2.
Right when we brought you on, that ground ball to shortstop, how important is that for CJ, that going to his right? I mean, that was a little bit of an issue. Like Adam, to his left, he's special, but to his right is still that part where he needed to get a little bit better, I think, in the offseason, but he looks like his footwork is amazing right now.
He's put a lot of work in this winter, and he's come to camp with a different attitude. He really has. He's working hard. He's working with Ricky Gutierrez, Miguel Cairo. He's cleaned some things up out there, and he looks great. I mean, he's so focused right now. He wants to get off to a good start, and you can see it.
Perdomo ahead of Romy Gonzalez, who grounds one to third. Ildemaro Vargas to a knee, and an on-target throw. A quick top of the third for Luis Perdomo. Needs just 5 pitches. Davey, stay another half inning for us?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. More with the skipper next.
All right.
We go bottom 3.
Hey, you look.
Davey Martinez still with us on headsets down in the Nationals dugout after a quick top of the inning thrown by Luis Perdomo, and the Nationals will send Drew Millis, Alex Call, and C.J. Abrams to the plate here, bottom 3. Davey, we talked about C.J. Abrams last half inning. I want to ask you about Lane Thomas, who should not be overlooked after his 2020 season last year. Do you notice him taking on more of a leadership role as he gets more time in a Nationals uniform and establishes himself more at the major league level?
Yeah, you know, in a quiet way, he has taken on a little bit more of a leadership role. You know, he had great year last year. I saw a difference in him late in the year as far as talking to young players and getting to understand the game. And then this year, it's been the same way. You know, it seems like he runs some of the groups that we got working, and he's done. Obviously, I love him to death. He's done well. He's become a really good pronounced player, especially for us. So I'm excited what he can do. After last year.
Zach Kelly now on for the Red Sox, and that one shot out to center off the bat of Drew Millis. A leadoff single for the Nationals catcher here in the third.
Hey, we were talking about it off air, but I want to get it. Tim Bogart and Gary DiZarcina have been replaced, and you got Miguel Cairo, longtime big leaguer, longtime bench coach, done a lot of different things. Great dude. He's now your bench coach. Ricky's out there at third base. Gerardo Parra's over there at first base. How's the new, and Chris Johnson, can't forget CJ out there as your assistant hitting coach, but how's that been so far, the getting those guys acclimated to you?
It's been incredible. I've known these guys for quite some time. I've known what they do. I played with a lot of them, but they bring the energy every day from 5:30 in the morning till the time we leave the ballpark. They're full of energy. They're excited. They're great with the young kids. Great with the veteran guys. Just being around them. I always tell them, hey, I don't know everything. I really don't. So throw some things at me because I'm learning from these guys as well. So it's been an unbelievable partnership with all these guys, and I'm really looking forward to the season with them.
Have you picked up on the sarcasm yet from Chris Johnson yet? It's pretty heavy. It's amazing.
Yeah, he throws his jabs out there.
Oh, he's amazing.
Davey, when I get a text message from Franny after that pickup was announced of Chris Johnson joining your coaching staff, and Franny's really excited about the pickup, I think that means trouble. If it's a guy that Franny is kind of in line with, I don't know if that's a good thing.
Hey, I can tell you what, as much as these guys work hard, they love to have fun, and they get on each other every single day. It's a lot of fun.
Well, how much does that matter? I mean, not only like coaching staff having a good time, working hard, but having a good time, making sure that it's still light and you understand it's a game and keep everything, that energy level high.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not having fun with what you're doing, I think it's time you do something else. And like I said, it's been a great group. We all get along. We keep it light, but yet we're working really hard to get these guys ready for the season. It's been great. I talk to our young guys, our veteran guys, about different things, and they all say the same thing about these guys, that they love working with them. They love coming to the ballpark. They know what they're going to get every day, and our expectations are for them to come to the ballpark and work.
Alex Call drawing a 5-pitch walk, so there's 2 on with nobody out for C.J. Abrams. Davey, you go into every spring with a different sort of focus, something that you really want to work on specifically out on the backfields that you want your guys to keep in mind. I know you have been leading some base running drills and trying to make sure that some of the fundamentals are top of mind for your guys. Is that, would you say, the biggest focus for you this year, or is there something else that you really want to reinforce early in spring?
Yeah, look, I've said this from the beginning. We got to do 3 things consistently every day. We got to run the bases right. We got to pitch, throw strikes, and we got to play good. We got to play good defense. So we need to be fundamentally sound in those 3 things. Hitting, as we all know, comes and goes. It really does. But you can win games 3-2, 2-1. But we can't give teams 27 outs. We can't afford to make mistakes on the bases. So fundamentally this year, I really wanted to, especially with this young group, have an opportunity to do things and coach more. It's good base running by Millis.
Nice job, yeah.
There you
Coach
go.
more on, and do a little bit more coaching and get them to understand what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to do.
As Drew Millis goes back to the bag at second to tag up and go to third on that long fly ball off of CJ's bat. Davey, you've made the joke, it's kind of half a joke the last few years, that when you're working with these young players, you have to pretend like they don't know anything. You have to talk to them like they're from Mars. Do you get the sense more recently that they're less from Mars and more from, I don't know, whatever a closer planet is?
No, I always, I preach it every day to our coaching staff. Don't assume, we try not to assume anything. We're going to work hard. We're going to coach. Sometimes we're going to repeat ourselves 500 times, but the biggest thing is that we care. We care about the player. We care about this organization. We want things to go right, and we want to continue to build.
More good base running there as Victor Robles drives in the Nationals' first run, and Alex Call got a good read going first to third.
Yeah, I think that the big question, really is how impressive these young guys have been for us, but really, how impressive have they been for you guys? Whether it's the James Wood, Dylan Cruz, Robert Hassel III, Brady House, even more, you can expand because there's so many guys that have shown so well in the first 4 or 5 games of spring.
Yeah, no, they've been awesome. They fit. They really do fit in with the rest of the guys we got. That's what I loved, and that's what I love is that we're challenging them a little bit, but they accept the challenge and they're all doing well.
Jesse Winker attacking the first pitch he sees, and that one drops in fair territory, bringing in Alex Call. So 2 straight singles from Nationals hitters, and we've got a tie ball game 2-2.
Let's see if Joey Gallo can get a hold of one and bust this open for us right here.
It's prodigious, right? His power, everybody knows about it. you've seen it firsthand, but when you see it every day now so far, how different is it?
He takes his rips, and that's awesome. We want him to be up there and be aggressive, especially in these situations right here. So, he's been working diligently with Darnell and some things, but we really feel like he's gonna help us and have a big year.
Davey, he's been so successful power-wise, obviously, over the course of his career. That's his calling card. How much with a guy like that can change a game with one swing, do you try and tweak little things to maybe boost that batting average a tiny bit to get more balls in play, or do you just know what you're getting with Joey Gallo and you say go do your thing?
Yeah, no, we're gonna try really hard to tweak some things with him and make, because honestly, the more contact he makes, the more chances he has to hit that home run because he's got tremendous power. So, but he's here. He understands he's here to drive in runs for us. That's the biggest thing, to drive in some runs for us, and that's something that we lacked last year. Was the power bat, and he's going to bring that.
Yeah, and you got guys like Gallo, Winker. Even we were talking about it with Wood and Cruz, and the ability to control the strike zone. These are guys that might not have the highest of averages, but they're getting on base a ton. Like how much important is that for you to see that with your young guys? For them to see guys like Joey and Jesse do what they do.
We really love that. We're not. We talk all the time about moving the baseball, putting the ball in play, especially with 2 strikes, and taking your walks. And just like he did just now. Take your walks. You get on. You want to be a good teammate. Get on for the guy behind you. And accept them and keep the train rolling.
Well, look out here. Here's Dylan Cruz with the bases loaded and 1 out. Davey, a guy like this in this situation, I'm sure trying to impress in his first big league spring. He's got the bases loaded. What do you want him to do in this AB?
Homer.
Well, yeah.
He's doing it right now. He's being patient up there. He's looking for a ball that he can drive, and that's awesome, man. A young kid like him to having a bat right now. I'm watching it right now, and 2 pretty good pitches. He just let go.
That's Pro right there laying out for the pitch. Takes it in there to make it 2-1.
How about the ability for him to play all over the place?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. That's one thing that Parr and myself challenge these guys, these young guys, him, Wood, Hassel. You're going to play all 3 because you don't know what our needs will be.
Breaking ball gets a chase from Dylan Cruz, and it's 2-2. Zach Kelly in a jam here, the Roanoke, Virginia native. A 2-2 to Dylan Cruz. Tap foul.
Well, for a guy like, Dylan Cruz, this is first spring training. Doesn't matter minor league camp, big league camp. It's big league camp. Getting him acclimated to that. All the other young guys have been in camps before. This is relatively new for him. What do you tell a guy like that?
This is, hey, you just be yourself. We want him to be him, and we're going to do everything in our power to get him to understand the game. But he's been awesome. He's like a sponge. He wants to learn every day. He's been great.
What's your early read, Davey, on his feel for the strike zone, how he commands it?
It's really good. I mean, he's had some really good at bats with 2 strikes. He knows the strike zone. As he chases right there, but that's a rarity. Yeah, it happens. That's right. So, but he's been really good.
And what about, we're going to see him later on today. DJ Hers and Mitchell Parker has been, really bright as far as on the pitching side from the young guys. What have you been impressed about with both those guys?
Yeah, 2 left-handed pitchers that when they're in the strike zone, this stuff is electric. Yeah. It really is. They throw the ball, but they both got really good secondary pitches. DJ with a good changeup, good, they call it a sweeper. I call it a nice slider. And also Parker. Parker with a really nice changeup and a good breaking ball, very good breaking ball. So, so far I like them both. I mean, like I said, they're around the strike zone. They're competing. They're not afraid. So they're going to be a big part of our future as well.
Davey, it's our first spring broadcast. We don't have to get into the slider sweeper debate right out of the gates.
Yeah, I got to throw it out there. You know how it is.
Yeah. Luis Garcia Jr. up there with 2 outs now.
Wait, we could call it just the breaker.
Fine with me.
I'm in on that. But we gotta be so descriptive, It's a big part of it.
Garcia trying to battle here in a 2-strike count. Ices one the other way, but that'll go foul.
How about for a guy like Louis, coming into camp? Obviously, being sent down was a big eye-opener for him last year. He came back and responded in September last year, chasing a little bit less. The routines have changed for him. What have you been impressed about with Louis so far?
He's coming to spring training. Looks good. He kept the weight down. He's moving a lot better. So we love that about him. He's taking things a little bit more serious this spring than he has in the past, and he's really working really hard to get better over at second base and working on his agility as well. So we're expecting big things for him as well. I mean, this is he's no young guy anymore per se. As far as this is his fourth stint in the major leagues with us, and we want him to succeed. We want him to get better.
Lines one out to right center, falling quickly. A dive out there at right by Abreu, and they're going to say that's a catch. Close play. Abreu got there, apparently just in time, robbing Luis Garcia Jr. Davey, thanks for joining us. We got a couple runs for you with you on the headset.
Appreciate it, dude.
Thanks as
awesome.
always.
Appreciate it. All right, guys. All right, nice talking to you.
Tie ball game through 3 in West Palm. This game apparently not entertaining enough for somebody out there on the berm. That's all right. We're having fun in our first spring broadcast of the year, and we got Lane Thomas on a headset down in the dugout with us now. Laner, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How are y'all?
Not as good as you, newborn. How you guys doing with it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, it's been awesome. You know, he's finally getting old enough where he's smiling and jumping around the little jumper things. It's been awesome.
Is it Hank
My wife
at all,
has the hard job.
or is it Henry?
We've been calling him Hank. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Hank's kind of sticking. Yeah.
I like it.
You got to feel it out early
Yes,
on,
sir.
right? See how his personality
Yeah, right,
plays.
yeah.
Are you a Henry? Are you a Hank? What do you got for us?
Yeah, he's definitely a Hank. He's like almost 18 pounds already. He's a little thick guy. Feels like he's full of lead.
So then that comes
Some
in
of these babies you pick up and you're like, yeah, some of these babies you pick up and you're like, you know, he's light. You don't say that when you pick ours up.
All right, fair enough. Hunter Harvey out of the Nationals bullpen. That one fouled off by Mark Contreras. So an effective 1-2-3 third inning thrown by Luis Perdomo. 5 pitches, 3 outs. And here's Hunter Harvey off of a really nice season out of the Nationals pen last year, a 2.82 ERA.
I'm going to say easily Lane Thomas's favorite walk-up song, right?
He just got really excited right now.
Easily. It fires me up every time. If you zoom in, I'm singing it every time he comes in.
All right, we'll do that in the future.
Do that during the year.
Yep.
Can you sing it now?
Oh, yeah.
Pressure.
I would rather not. I like singing it with the song.
Yeah, acapella is a little different.
It kind of shades the bad singing.
Yeah, exactly. Paint fastball there by Harvey for out number 1 here in the 4th. So, Lane, you're coming out of a 2023 season that saw you post just the 4th 2020 campaign in Nationals team history. You were in there every day, basically. What were your big takeaways? What are you proudest of in your campaign last year?
That's a good question. I think just being available. I think that's something I take pride in. Is just like what you said, being available to the team and to Davey every day, and just going out and, you know, hopefully those guys know what to expect, and you know, I like it that way, having some confidence in what I'm going to bring every day. So that's kind of what I feel like that's why you play, is to, you know, make your teammates better, hopefully make the team better.
Well, you made a lot of people better. Number one, I have to ask is, like, how's spring going though for you? Because I feel like when you establish yourself after a year like that, things are different, right? As far as leadership qualities, right? Like you're taking on a little bit more onus on that one. How's it been so far?
It's been good. I feel like I don't like thinking about it that way. Like, as in, you know, you had a great year. You can kind of, you know, I feel like you still need to go into it like you need to earn your job. But I definitely like hanging out with these young bucks, being, you know, had been in that situation for a long time with the Cardinals and coming over here and getting a little opportunity. So it's just been fun. I'm having fun hanging out with these guys and, you know, working with Para, and, you know, we're keeping it fun. So it's been awesome.
I'm smiling just picturing Lane Thomas off a 2020 year last year, walking into the clubhouse and shoving someone into a locker. Like, I'm the big guy now. Watch out.
Yeah. Have you seen some of the guys in the outfield? Like James Wood, he's 2 of me.
Yeah.
Well,
so tough to shove them.
There will be no locker shoving.
Well, when you bring up that name, I mean, guys are looking up to you in so many regards on that, but like bringing along those young guys, you've been there. You know, you've been in that situation.
Oh,
what's it like? So, you know, doing that, being the older guy on that.
I mean, you want those guys to be as successful as possible, because eventually they're going to help our team. So hopefully we can reiterate that to them. At some point we're going to need you. So, you know, lock it in and stay focused, and hopefully we see you soon.
Hunter Harvey gets another strikeout. 2 Ks for the Nationals right-hander in a scoreless 4th. Lane, you stick around another half inning for us?
Sure, I'll be here.
All right. A little more with Lane Thomas after this. Plattsburgh Pirates are now on sale. First 20,000 fans will receive an opening day reversible bucket hat. Presented by PenFed. Visit nats.com/opening day. If one version of a bucket head is not enough for you and you need it reversible, we got the bucket hat for you.
They're not asleep.
They are not.
Nope.
Some excited young fans out there on the berm as we go to the
right
home
there.
half of the fourth.
Yeah. Is
Lane-
he good right here?
Lane
Sorry.
Thomas still with us down in the dugout. Are you talking to us or are you talking to somebody else?
No, one of the camera guys wanted to come stand. I didn't know where the is this the camera? Am I pointing at?
Yeah,
you?
you're looking
dude,
right
this
into
is-
our souls
yeah,
right
That's
now.
a great promo right there.
Nice.
You just cut it for yourself.
Lane's coming for you. Lane, how do you approach spring training? We were talking the other day. You said you don't ever perform well in spring training, but how do you try and attack when you know, you said you're still fighting for a job, but you're going to be in there on opening day. How do you go about what can be a Groundhog Day sort of slog through 6-7 weeks?
I think it's really getting a feel for how your body rebounds early on, and not trying to push yourself to the point where you could hurt yourself. So getting ready, but within your own means, and that might be different for me than some of these younger guys. But it's you just learn that stuff over the course of. I think this is like my 10th spring training, not big league obviously, but like overall my 10th spring training. So. I mean, Francis, you can speak on that too. It's just the longer you do it, you understand kind of how many swings and that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I just understood I was going to suck no matter what, so it was great. No,
doesn't matter how you approach.
Yeah, no, you can approach it how you want. I'm gonna be terrible.
Till tomorrow, Vargas checks his swing, and he's aboard with a leadoff walk here in the fourth.
Now, Lane, for you, some changes as far as Parra coming in for EY Jr. As far as leading the outfielders. What? I'm not asking what's different, but is there anything new that you're kind of responding to with Gerardo?
Yeah, I think he's kind of him and Davey have talked, and they kind of isolated some individual things that we should work on. So like we do the normal stuff, like work on during the day, but they've kind of been like, all right, this is something you could get better at. And just each individually give you something that you can start thinking about and working on and shagging or whatever. It might be coming in, going back. If you don't throw well, that kind of thing. So it's been nice knowing just some of the things that we don't do as well, which I thought was cool.
You throw better than him, and that was pretty darn good. He was special.
They actually said Vargas swung
You
through
talking about
that
Davey was
3-2
special,
pitch.
or
Well, Davey was
Parra.
special.
Yeah.
Parra was special too.
Parra was special?
Yeah, Parra was special.
Oh, I know. Shoot, he's unbelievable. He can still throw it. He still throws better than most of us out there.
Lane, as you go through your spring, you're worried about yourself. You're also worried about your new teammates, obviously. You know Nick Senzel very well. You're getting to know Joey Gallo. Jesse Winker has a chance to make this team. What are your impressions of some of these new guys that we might see on the opening day squad?
So far, so good, man. I think, everybody's enjoying each other's company. We've all kind of been on the same field, obviously hitting our BP and that kind of thing. So it's been good just to get to know him. I mean, obviously, Joey's done some pretty cool things in his career, and so has Jesse. And I think hopefully, both those guys get back to the players that, we've all seen. So I'm excited to see him play.
Are you excited to slide into second base with no one blocking it?
Yes. Absolutely.
Asked and answered.
No, I mean it's a truth because there's so many times that you had to be so perfect with your slide, and you slide feet first all the time. It changes some things, right?
100%. 100%. I mean, especially, I know, over the years, before my time in the game, it's been, you're taking guys out. I mean, my first couple years of spring training with the Blue Jays, we had double play buster T-shirts. Like they would go, if you went and took the guy out, you got a T-shirt for it. And that was, I haven't been playing for that long, so it's changed quickly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 2 outs here in the fourth as Millis grounds out the third. Here's Alex Call with 2 away. Lane, you had any interesting golf experiences this spring?
Huh. That's kind of a loaded question there, Dan.
Yeah,
Dan,
it
I
is.
have not played during spring training. That's what he's trying to tell you, Dan.
No, that's a lie. I know it's a
this
lie.
is so we had a little 2-on-2 Nats TV game tournament at Panther National, and Dan sold us out. Just played. We had a celebrity shot, and he sold us out. He sunk all the putts for them, and didn't do anything for us. I'm still kind of salty about it now that you bring it up.
I'm sorry, that was bad strategy by me. This will be a segment that will air on the Nationals social channels. Lane Thomas and Nick Senzel against Mackenzie Gore and Patrick Corbin out at Panther National, a beautiful new course, and we did a little 2 versus 2, and yeah, I did not step up for Lane and Nick the way that I did for Patrick and Mackenzie.
On purpose.
Yeah, well, they might have. Who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe they slid me a 20.
Well, both those guys have way more money than us, so I could see that happening.
2-2 on Alex Call here in the 4th.
Speaking of
Takes it to
Senzel,
ball 3.
how's that been playing with a former childhood teammate of yours?
So cool.
Oh yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, you never think stuff like that'll happen, and then it does, and it's been awesome. I'm just excited to see him get a fresh start.
Call rips one, foul down the left field line. Has he been leaning on you, Lane, to kind of get the lay of the land in a new location?
Yeah, I think just curious about how things work, and obviously you go team to team, and they have different rules, different stuff that they emphasize on. But no, it's been all good. Him and Davey have gotten along well, and just trying to I think it's important him getting to know all the coaches before we really get going.
Another walk drawn by Alex Call. 2 free passes taken by the Nationals left fielder so far today.
Hey, you like the new jerseys?
Ooh.
Have to ask.
Oh, that's putting me on the spot, man. They just don't fit well. Hate saying it like that. I don't know.
I mean, there's
I think
truth.
they'll figure it
It's
out.
it's a big known.
I don't know. I don't want to get too detailed. But
Yeah,
it's
probably
just
for the
not
best.
Everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Another at-bat for C.J. Abrams. Lane, how did you see this guy grow over the course of last season from opening day through game 162?
I mean, you just see him coming into his own, with how confident he is stealing bags, and you can see the confidence going. It goes into the plate and hitting and fielding, and I think he came in and being just a young guy who they're just handing the reins to shortstop to. There's a lot of pressure with that too.
Hey,
So just kind of
happened
getting
right
over
here?
that first hump, and
Did they call
no idea.
catcher's interference?
I mean, he went behind CJ. Yell at him, Lane.
We're
Come
out of
on.
the inning. Regardless, Lane, thanks for joining us, buddy. Enjoy the rest of spring, and we're
No
looking
problem.
forward
Thank
to,
you, guys.
to
Sounds
seeing you
good.
later.
All right, Lane.
Toyota Better availability means better deals at your Toyota dealer. Shop buyatoyota.com. Sun is out. Palm trees are getting blown by a nice breeze. And there's C.J. Abrams, who was called out for batter's interference to end the last half inning.
Yeah, so this slider's going to take him and move his feet, and he goes across, and all the catcher needs to do in that situation is just touch the batter. And I don't know if he touched him, but he doesn't have a lot, anywhere really to go.
Yeah.
The only thing he could have done is tried to sprint across, because, that's the first thing on your mind as a hitter to do. But
that's a hang with him there for CJ.
And Alex. I mean, it was a heck of a jump.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's always that thing that you look at, you're going, what else is he supposed to do? He can't do anything. It's a smart job by the catcher to try to initiate contact, because that's what you're taught to do, is unless the guy is standing in the toe holds that he has.
Well, Finnegan is in again, and Finnegan gets another strikeout. Kyle picking up a K of Rafaela to begin his inning of work here in West Palm.
Nice little slider right there. I don't know how to respond to that one.
The Finnegan is in again?
Yeah. Sound like Buster Rhymes right there.
Kyle coming off a year where he made 67 appearances out of the Nationals pen. 3 straight years of 66 plus for the Nationals righty.
He's getting close to clip territory.
He is.
I mean, he's not, because 70 appearances. What, Clip had 7, I believe, in the his last 12 years of pitching.
Yeah, he was a workhorse. Finnegan finished the year with a 3.76 ERA, 28 saves, far and away a career high.
And just bookended the year, though. That's where all the numbers are really inflated because of a couple outings beginning part, and then a little bit in September. He got a little worn down a little bit, but what a year. I mean, the consistency that he showed the entire season, especially being able to throw strikes, consistent strikes, being in a good part of the strike zone with his fastball, the split. This is a guy that you just want to see what's the response this year, right? More than anything, because it was so fantastic. And obviously with, Hunter Harvey and him sharing the closing duties for quite a bit of time, I mean, it's a great 1-2 punch, and something they've continue to add to with Dylan Floro, Richard Blyer, Matt Barnes was picked up on a minor league deal, so who knows what happens there. But
Derek Law,
great. Did you interview him?
I did not have a chance to catch up with him in
fantastic
camp. Finnegan's 2-2 to Abreu is taken high for ball 3.
But someone that I think we worried about too much with the pitch clock, because he is a relatively slow worker, and it really didn't affect him as much.
No,
it might have actually made him better. Nice.
Foul tip off the bat of Abreu, held by Millis, and back-to-back Ks for Finnegan. Follow the best social media in baseball at Nationals on Twitter and Instagram, and like us on Facebook for all of your Washington Nationals news and entertainment, including the 2-versus-2 golf scramble eventually, which I may or may not have ruined. Check swing from Bobby Dalbec.
It just depends on what side you're on, right? Like if you were...
Yeah, that's true. Lane thinks I ruined it.
Right.
Mackenzie and Patrick probably don't agree.
I think the one thing people need to understand about Mackenzie Gore, he's competitive all the time.
Yes.
You get him on a golf course, it is impressive, because he wants to go to your throat every time.
I'll just say that he feels he's the best golfer on the Nationals roster currently.
Do you ever notice after a long drive that he hits, he does his little, like after a strikeout, he takes his glove off and he pulls up his pants a little bit at the belt? He does that too in golf.
Finnegan looking for a 1-2-3 fifth inning. Dalbec going to fight that one off right side.
And how efficient Hunter Harvey was in getting his 2 strikeouts and his 1 inning to work. Now you've seen how efficient Kyle Finnegan. That's the stuff that you look for. It's not so much just the dominance of what they're doing. It's just how consistent are you in the strike zone? Where are you in the strike zone? Nice.
Davey Martinez saying that both Finnegan and Harvey are probably going to be in line for saves at various spots over the course of the season. He'll kind of play it according to the situation. Another strikeout from Finnegan elevates the fastball to get it past Dahlbeck. And Finnegan strikes out the side in the 5th.
Remember, reward your attitude with guaranteed access to opening day 2024, as well as savings on concessions and merchandise. Visit nats.com/2024 for more information. Line change.
Red Sox are going to the bench.
Switch them up.
Need a fresh 5. Have a new pitcher for Boston, Jorge Benitez. 24-year-old lefty out of Puerto Rico. Got a host of defensive changes for the Red Sox as well.
You see 82 strikeouts and 64 and 2/3 innings. You know this guy's got good stuff.
9th round pick of the Mariners in 2017. And Victor Robles, foul tip on his first offering. Victor with an RBI single out to center field back in the 3rd inning, and then a little celebration down at first base. Victor had really good numbers against left-handed pitching last year. 364 average, 872 OPS against southpaws.
But nice and controlled swing. I mean, that's the thing that we saw all too often the previous years was helmet popping off everywhere, trying to swing out of his shoes. Everything's a lot more controlled. When you're a lot more controlled, you're not going to swing as much out of the zone. You will, but not as much. More consistent getting the barrel to the ball.
Tried to backdoor the breaking ball and it missed the edge. 3-2. Well, if you're Victor, you see what's in camp outfield wise. You know that James Wood is coming, Dylan Cruz, Robert Hassel, Dalen Lyle, a name that doesn't get mentioned that often, but had a really nice year last year. As Robles grounds one left side, just foul. Victor knows that he's got another chance out there in center field to open the season, and he's going to have to produce.
But that's what a good organization has is depth where they challenge guys. They have guys that are hungry.
Competition's a good thing.
100%. That was like a big thing. Pete Carroll back in the day with USC. That's all he wanted. How did you create this sense of winning here? You get guys that are hungry, and you get the most talent, and you continuously, provide that to the guys that are ahead of them. Have your feelers up at all times.
Robles checks his swing, and another walk drawn by Victor, his third thus far this spring, and he's on base for the second time today.
Well, that's nice to see too, right? Not just free swinging on that part, taking the bat or taking the base right there on the walk. Now he can go out and steal.
Jesse Winker 1 for 2 today. Dropped an RBI single down the left field line last time. Red Sox with an entirely new infield. New right, new center as well. Breaking ball gets the inside edge to make it 1-1. Two.
The scoreboard doesn't look. Usually this is about the time I start tearing up the scorecard, because it doesn't matter. You're just going to be talking about the guys anyways, right?
True.
And if you want to get it right, that's fine.
Winker just going to serve one into right field. Went down and got it. Ball bobbled out there in right. Victor Robles going first to third, and looked like Ricky Gutierrez had the windmill going. Victor stops at third, and Winker safely into second. So he's got a little haywire there for a second for Boston, and the Nationals with 2 in scoring position.
Well, nice job by Jesse Winker, not only just to get the bat on the ball, but to get it out there and keep running hard. He didn't stop. I hope he doesn't stop right here in this situation, but right here, Victor Robles shutting it down right before third base. And we've talked about this plenty of times. Who stops you? The third base coach stops you, not you. And that right there, we saw him shutting it down quite a bit early.
Gallo going to pull one fair down the right field line. Victor Robles can slowly trot home. Pinch runner Diaz behind him. And the Nationals get 2 here in the 5th to take a 4-2 lead.
And nice job right there, Joey Gallo. Last year hitting 180, 705 OPS against lefties, stays on one just enough, infield in. And when you have the strength and power, those ground balls, we talked about a couple years ago with Nelson Cruz. Some of those ground balls that he hits are just a little different than others. Squibs through, nice job. Juan Yepes gets the run for him now.
So a nice way to end the afternoon for Joey Gallo. 2-run double, and then gets pinch run for out there at second base. First extra base hit of spring for the big left-handed hitter. Now another RBI opportunity for Dylan Cruz. Tap left side. That ball's going to stay fair, and that'll be an infield hit for Dylan Cruz.
You know, the one thing that you look at, especially young guys, you want to see, you know, the quality of the bat, obviously, but how comfortable are they? We don't see, you'll see Dylan Cruz swing at first pitch here and there, but it's not, he's not panicked. Like, that's like been my most impressed thing about him that stands out, is that he's just not up there, oh, I'm going to wail away right away. I'm going to get my pitch.
There's a purpose to that first pitch swing.
And so many times that you see guys, you know, swinging first pitch, they don't want to get to 2 strikes. They don't want to get deep into a count. They're not comfortable. He is.
Luis Garcia Jr. with a left-on-left battle here. Swings through strike 1. Louis played winter ball after the 2023 Major League regular season ended. Had a great time down there. Told me it was a really positive experience for him. As you heard Davey Martinez talking about earlier, he's in good shape. Says he's lost about 10 pounds. Fouls this one off his lower half. But he told me, Franny, that he's coming into this spring purposefully, not goofing around as much, being a little more focused.
Another one of those guys, though, I mean, that's feeling maybe a little pressure from behind, right?
Yeah.
Like there's opportunity for other guys to come in, and not everything's given, especially, you know, for a team that's still in that retooling phase. You got to put up.
Trey Lipscomb has been working behind Luis Garcia in pretty much every defensive drill out on the backfields.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you could say about the young guys, especially like when you bring up Trey. Like Luis Garcia Jr., he's a bigger dude anyways. But there's some size. Like this is like you come off the bus, everyone's looking going, all right, yep, they're here.
Yeah. Runner takes off from first, throw down, and a stolen base there for Dylan Cruz.
Everyone's got to hold their breath, make sure that there's no catcher's or batter's interference on this one. No, good.
Cruz the infield single, and then swipe second.
I mean, look at the huge jump right there. High leg kick from Benitez. Nice job. Luis Garcia Jr. just get down there, foul something off, stay in it.
Nice call.
Juan Yepes at third, Dylan Cruz at second here in the fifth inning from West Palm. Garcia takes a fastball off the outside edge, and he's worked the count full.
Good AB so far. I mean, this is a quality at bat no matter what, how it ends up. You would love to see, you know, success off of this, but get this deep, foul off, pitch after pitch, take some close ones.
Lines one up the middle. Cruz took off from second. They're going to throw to first and get Garcia. Cruz was able to make it back to second base after Yepes did not run home from third.
And infield in, it's got to be through if you're Juan Yepes and he does it right. Dylan Cruz plays in front of you, you got to see it. And he just assumed right there, and just, all right. I didn't want to get that guy at second base. I didn't want to.
Line right side. A nice play there at second for out number 2. Eldemaro Vargas squared it up. But Nick York right there to make the play.
From San Jose.
All right. So here's the new Red Sox defense. As mentioned, pretty much across the board changes for them. Colesbury still behind the plate for Boston.
That's nice.
Drew Millis will turn around and hit right-handed here. 1 for 2 with a single to center back in the third inning is the Nationals catcher.
Say another position of strength for the Nationals. You look at the catcher with Cabert and Riley, obviously established themselves as the big league guys, but Drew came up last year and did such a good job once Riley went down with the hammy bone. It was one that we continuously talked about. It was nothing against what he was doing, but you could not forget what Riley Adams had done last year, right? In his time and how good he played. It's such a huge thing for an organization to have quality depth at the catching position especially.
So big for a couple of these guys as Millis draws a 4-pitch walk to load the bases with 2 outs. Franny, big for a lot of these guys down the stretch to get a taste of the majors going into the offseason. Drew Millis starter today. Jackson Rutledge got 4 appearances under his belt. Some of these other up-and-comers as well. I'd imagine that's a really nice thing. Let you know you've made it, and then you settle in the offseason, get to work, and try and stick around. Pitching change for the Red Sox here in the 5th. Nationals have a 4-2 lead, and they're looking for more. And much more. Download the Ballpark app today and choose Nationals as your favorite team. The Nats have taken the lead here in the 5th inning and trying to pad that 2-run advantage now. Alex Call stepping in with the bases loaded. He will face Cody Scroggins, right-hander. Last year, split time between single A and double A. And a first pitch fastball gets ahead of Alex Call. Very Alex Call sort of day today. Guy who sees a lot of pitches, not afraid to draw a free pass.
Still talking to himself.
Scroggins quickly ahead 0-2. So there they are, full up on the bases for the Nats. Yepes, Cruz, and Millis. Fought off right side, and catch made over there at first to end the bottom half of the 5th. But the Nationals grab 2 and lead 4-2.
MASN app. Watch games live and receive expert analysis and player stats all in the palm of your hand. Don't miss a pitch. Go to masnsports.com and download yours today. You already did. Finished it. Nice.
Well, we've talked a lot about the kids so far on our spring training broadcast, and we're getting to see a couple more of them now. DJ Hers, promising left-hander, acquired by the Nationals in the Jamer Candelario trade with the Cubs last summer. Getting his second appearance in big league camp. Fastball misses high.
Yeah, fantastic fastball, but the changeup is what is the separator for him. Big swing and miss on that. It's just being around the strike zone. If he's in near the zone, Davey talked about it earlier. If he's in the zone, it's special. Good pickup by them. The great Nat.
Had a great first half, and the Nationals sent him to Chicago. Got pitching prospect, got a shortstop prospect, and DJ Hers in his first appearance this spring impressed. A scoreless outing, 1 inning, walked 1 but struck out 2. He's got a lot of deception in that delivery, Franny. Looks like he hides the ball a little bit.
A little bit. But you get that firm fastball that he likes to pitch at the top of the zone with to go along with the changeup. It works. First base side of the rubber.
Bunch of changes across the board for the Nationals defensively. We'll get you there in a minute. 3-2 by him. And DJ Hers, his 3rd strikeout of spring.
Well, thank you, DJ, on this one. Just showing exactly what it is. Yep. Can't hit what you can't see. Right, helmet going over.
That does help.
It's going to play against you.
Another fastball in there from the lefty.
I think you could say that the past couple of years, what has been missing, and we saw it, come in there last year a little bit, especially with Robert Garcia, right? Having a lefty out of the pen. This in DJ Hers he's not a pen guy. They say that he could go to the pen if need be, but he's a starter with great stuff.
Lined out to left. Over and in is Blankenhorn.
Nice job.
And he lays out to make the catch for out number 2. Been playing tricks with that one, and Blankenhorn up to the task. Single game tickets to all Nationals home games are on sale now. Natitude starts here, so get your tickets at nats.com/tickets today. So Blankenhorn has come in left field for the Nationals, replacing Alex Call. Robert Hassel III in center, and James Wood takes over for Dylan Cruz in right field. Super talented prospect replacing super talented prospect in right field.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible to think, for James Wood too, it's not a negative coming off the bench. You just there's so many things as a young guy in spring training. You're not going to start all the time. And it's a part of the evaluation process about what even Mike Rizzo was talking about. How do they prepare? How do they get ready for this thing? When your number's called upon, are you ready to go? Yeah, tried the ball.
Just missed. Changes across the infield for the Nationals as well. Carter Kieboom in there at 3rd, Trey Lipscomb at short, and Nasim Nunez, the Rule 5 pick, takes over at 2nd base. This guy can really pick it defensively.
I mean, there's Nasim Nunez. Watching a couple games so far that he's been involved in and going back and watching video on him in the offseason, his footwork for a youngster is insane. He is a unbelievable defender. Now, offensively, you're not going to see great numbers until you go to the on-base percentage. And the guys walked 90-plus times 2 years ago, walked over 70 times last year. That is incredible to have. Again, this is a part of the process for the Nats and seeing the versatility that they have with these guys.
Here's Nick York getting his first AB for Boston today. Hers trying to bounce back after the 4-pitch walk.
I coached against Nick York his freshman year in high school.
Wow.
In a scrimmage game. And I was like telling our third baseman, because I was like, freshman, scoot in. Because we were playing in a scrimmage and I was right next to him. This kid lined one like right by me. And I'm like, no. Save yourself. I want you to live. You're backing up to the, I mean, this kid can swing it.
Yeah.
Oh. He and Marcelo Meyer, they're two big prospects up the middle for the Red Sox.
York taken number 17 overall by Boston back in the 2020 draft. Reached Double-A Portland last year. After getting acquired by the Nats, DJ Hers pitched to a 2.55 ERA in 8 appearances at Double-A Harrisburg. This is with the fastball, and it's 2-2. Went out to the Arizona Fall League.
Had a good one.
Got in 5 games there, and sure relished being around all the top competition that's out there. This one lined out to right center. Hassel over to his left to get it on a bounce. And it's a corner situation for the Red Sox here in the 6th.
What's cool to see, like just in situations like this, was Riz on or was Davey on when the ball went out to Victor and he threw it right to second base? Boom, right away.
Yeah, I think that was Riz.
And Robert Hassel coming into the game, going a little bit, going away from his throwing arm side, as he's a left-hander, doesn't try to attempt this, goes right to second base. Like, those are the little details that you hope that the guys have, but if they make the mistake early, it's spring training for everyone. We get that, so it's 2.
That's 2 times you said that now. Over-under was 3.5.
Yeah, I said it myself, so.
Ground ball off of Carter Keyboom. That'll allow a run to score and the inning to continue for the Red Sox. So it's 4-3 as the catcher Colesvary drives one in on a firm ground ball to Keyboom's right.
Yeah, and that one just kicks up on Carter Keyboom right into the pocket. One that I bet you he would tell you he'd have every time. Except for that time. Hard hit balls. That's what I mean, for the Red Sox, they're doing the same thing, evaluating the young guys and what they do. Squaring up balls. And you look at it for the purpose of infielders going in late in the game in spring training. It's not the easiest of things with the ground being so hard.
A lot of spin on that cue shot, and Nasim Nunez picked it with the pink glove, went to the bag himself. Red Sox get 1. It's 4-3 in West Palm. Is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals Baseball Club and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. The Washington Nationals Baseball Club leads the Boston Red Sox Baseball Club by a score of 4-3. Pitching change for the Red Sox. Cam Boozer, left-hander on the mound for them. Undrafted out of Seattle, Washington, 31 years of age. There's Trey Lipscomb getting his first AB of the game.
Workout partners back to back here with Trey Lipscomb and James Wood duo.
Yep. Two local boys, Lipscomb from Frederick, Wood from Olney.
Just love what Trey Lipscomb. It says a lot more about who he is when you wait out your turn in college instead of trying to go to the transfer portal like we see in so many sports. It's like, oh, I didn't get my opportunity, I'm going to leave. No, he's stuck there and just made a name for himself. What a stud. Absolute, like the mindset that he has, that's why I've been all over him since, like when they drafted my people that do that, what he did, they don't shy away from him, they keep competing, says more about the person than anything.
Played collegiately at University of Tennessee and swings through a fastball from Boozer, and there's one out in the 6th. Well, here's James Wood. Has he done enough this spring to excite anybody?
No, he's got to do more. He's gotten out 5 times.
Looks at a first pitch breaking ball for strike 1.
He had a base hit in his first at bat yesterday on an 0-2 count, but it was a backdoor breaker on the 0-1 that he stayed on. Them going, it's just different. Early in spring training, guys are on their front foot so often, you know, trying to get their timing down. You just flicked it off, and you're like, to be that big at 6'6" and to have the control, that's the part that impresses me. Well, the homers too, and running
and the defense.
Yeah, he's really good. But I mean, like that's the stuff. Is like certain things lead to one another, and he, you know, lines one up the middle for a hit after that. I mean, it's just. Sky's the limit for him.
12 plate appearances so far this spring. He's reached base 7 times. 3 walks to go along with the 4 hits. And 2 of those 4 hits have left the yard.
Far.
Checked his swing there.
Did he get it right? Is that CB?
CB got it right.
All right. Nice job, CB. I wonder how many springs that is for CB this year. This guy, because you will obviously get the number of years that he has in the big leagues, but all the minor league years that they spend, it takes forever to get there. And
so Wood has worked the count full. Lines this one out to right.
But, I mean, a left on left, ball runs in off the plate, and again, to have the size that he does, the hit tool, right? The ability to get the bat to the ball, sucks his hands in on that and just gets enough on it to get it out there to right field. You're going, oh my gosh. Because you hear so often, and Joey Gallo I've listened to him talk on, it's not the easiest of things to repeat swings being, you know, long levered.
We talk about CB Buckner. There's Jen Powell.
Nice.
Making some news this spring. The 3rd woman to umpire a spring training game since 2007. She was at AAA last year, and there's some thought, Franny, that, you know, there's some umps from the minors that become replacement umpires over the course of a long major league season, that maybe she'll make her way up to the big leagues this year.
She had home plate of the AAA championship game. Says enough.
Yeah.
That's not by just like, oh, well, just because she's a woman, we're going to give it to her today. No, she earned that opportunity. It's awesome. We're seeing it more and more. We're seeing it in the NBA, the NFL. So why not baseball?
CB Buckner punches out Yainer Diaz, and the Nats are done in the 6th, going down in order. still have a 1-run edge as we go to the late innings. Nationals today allowed 2 runs, and the big right-hander met with the media a few minutes ago.
Jackson, I know not as sharp as your last time out. What was sort of the biggest takeaway for you today?
The rhythm wasn't really there for me today. I found it towards the end of that second inning a little bit. You can kind of especially tell with the changeup. I pretty much threw one competitive one, struck a guy out with it, but for me, that's something that's going to be telltale for whether I'm on time is the changeup, and so really just competing with the fastball and the cutter today. And I think, today in a regular season game, I have the opportunity to still go out and get 5 or 6 innings. Obviously not my sharpest stuff in 2, but I'm limited it to 2, and like I said, in season we'll get more innings.
So what's your focus in between starts, and how is that similar or different to last season when you were in the minors?
Yeah, I'd say very similar. It's pretty much just doing everything I can to get prepped in between games, and that's really just the main focus. No lot changed.
The cutter that you're throwing this year, how important of a weapon is that going to be for you, especially against left-handers?
Yeah, I think very important. I think it's going to be something I can throw often. I can use it like my two-seam to righties, where I just kind of get in and make guys uncomfortable. I threw it, backdoor a couple times today, which I thought was pretty effective. And just going forward, going to see how it plays a little bit more. It's the second game throwing the cutter in my life, so we gotta kind of figure out how that's going to play, and just keep throwing it.
So there's Jackson Rutledge evaluating his second outing of spring. This one's popped up right side. Nasim Nunez camps under it and has the first out here in the 7th as DJ Hers gets another frame.
It's a pretty good self-evaluation right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's... I think so often you hear guys talking, you're like, I didn't see it. But that matched up. I mean, towards the end of that second inning, you could tell the rhythm had changed quite a bit.
Right. Thought it interesting hearing Jackson talk about how the cutter, which he just added this offseason, can be a weapon that he can trust if he doesn't have the feel of the changeup. And so he's not just fastball reliant if the changeup isn't there.
Right.
Obviously, cutter a version of the fastball, but different movement and another weapon in the arsenal.
But it's going to be one of those things where he's going to love to throw it and have that control in on lefties to get him off the barrel. You heard where he was more comfortable with it today, the back door on the left-handers, right?
Yeah.
So starting away, getting the clip in the outside part of the plate. I think that's huge. I mean, just understanding it's not going to be right away. You're going to be like, oh, yep, I got it. I know my cutter I'm going to do. It takes repetition. Game repetition, too. Not just, bullpen is one thing, but in games with the adrenaline rush, how do I get through it?
Hers airmailing that throw over to first. That'll allow McDonough to move up to second with 1 out.
You can tell right here, right when he's about to go there, it just kind of short steps it a little bit, doesn't get all the way through, and well, release point on that wasn't there. Just strike this guy out, find a way. Keep him at second base in this inning. Beauty.
Framed up by Israel Pineda and just missed getting the plate. Three and one to Alex Benelis. Couple walks here in the 7th for DJ Hers. That pitch count getting up there a little bit now as the Nationals try and extend him.
Yep. Most guys in the pen, I would say like 20, 25 pitches is going to be it. But when you have a starter, a guy like DJ Hers, you're going to be on the same, roughly the same timeline as Jackson Rutledge. What was his final pitch total today? It was like 40.
Well, it
just depends on what app
different.
You go with.
Yeah, it's
right.
different depending on where you look. It's spring training for all of us.
At 3. Next one, you get it.
So a quick little chat from Jim Hickey. See if DJ Hers can recalibrate and get back in the zone. Face Chase Mydroth.
You see that darting away. Nice job by Israel Pineda. Keep that a strike right there.
Good to see Pineda back healthy after he battled some injuries last year. Lined out the opposite way, and that'll go foul. So Hers ahead of Mydroth 1-2. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for DJ Hers. This one on off speed. And there's 2 away in the 7th.
Well, there's that changeup. That's an absolute nasty one. Getting the guy to his knee. Actually, that was a breaker. Oh, spring training for everybody there. Yeah.
And there we go. We hit the over.
There we go.
There's Angel Pierre.
It's very yellow. Chartreuse sliding mitt on in the back pocket right there.
Yeah, he's color coordinating.
Well played. I like it.
Well, we talked about it, Franny, with Mike Rizzo, about how the Nationals didn't need many starting pitchers last year. Only 8 the entire season, and they went to a 6-man rotation at one point. Yeah, you hope that you have the same starting pitching health in 2024 as you did last year, but if you don't, you're going to need Jackson Rutledge. You're going to need guys like DJ Hers potentially if he can continue to show growth, signs of progression.
So important. Again, the fact that you have 8 guys start last year for a team, you're not predicting injuries or anything. You just cannot go into a season thinking everything's going to be perfect. You got to have that depth. You got to have, the great trades to bring in guys like this.
A couple minor league signings like Zach Davies, an experienced guy who went 2 scoreless innings yesterday on a non-roster deal. Fastball misses up, and another walk. That'll load the bases. One thing the Nationals will have is they'll get Cade Cavalli back at some point this season. Volley returning from Tommy John surgery.
That'll be good to see him back out there.
I gotta tell you, he looks lean and strong and ready to go.
Didn't he before?
He did. He did. But talking to him the other day, he's joked with him. He said, I feel like I'm ready to pounce like a caged animal. It's been a tough year for him working back from that surgery.
No, we're getting close to, what, a year?
Yeah. I think Sogard fouls that one off to make it 1-1. Burr's not getting the high strike.
No. And you could tell when he's trying to feel for it even more, because he's just, every time he's throwing, he's like, strike. You know what I mean? Instead of being that confident down the hill, he's trying to just trying to get in the zone.
Hit well out to center. Over is Hassel, and he makes a casual grab chest high, and Hers works out of the 7th inning. A few walks, but a 0 posted, and the Nats hold their 4-3 lead.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, rated highest in...
Screech made the trip down south. It's nice to see.
He would be flying south this time.
He would.
Yeah.
Getting ready to come north, though. Juan Yepes will be the first national to take a look at Luis Guerrero. Nice year last year. An ERA in the 2s. Yepes ahead in the count 3-0.
As much time as he had the previous year with the Cardinals with Juan Yepes, but he could hit.
Parts of the last 2 seasons with St. Louis. Career .240 hitter in 104 games. 14 homers in 313 big league at-bats. Swings through a fastball, and it's 3-2. pokes that one to right.
Beauty.
That's a professional looking swing there by Juan Yepes in a 2-strike count.
Yeah, nice job by Juan. Just take some swing out. Stay on it just long enough. Get in those legs. I got myself another knock.
Yepes with his second hit of spring. Here's Carter Kieboom. Good to see Kieboom come back from Tommy John surgery and get back to the big league level last year. Got a good bit of time at third base down the stretch.
I like where he's at right now with his hands too. You think about last year where he was, hands were close to his bodies, a little bit more away. Seen that a little bit with CJ, where his hands are. Just frees him up quite a bit. His base.
Big hack at a 1-1 breaking ball. Carter's been behind Nick Senzel over at third base on the backfields in every defensive drill.
I like it for Nick too, because he's finally getting a chance to play a normal position for him.
That's his natural position. Yep. The Reds had him moving all over the place.
Not an easy thing to do.
2-2 to Kieboom is low. Carter's worked the count full. Kieboom out to right. And there's the first out here, bottom 7.
And if you want to tell about where the wind is blowing out towards left field, Kieboom thought he fouled that off to right field and it blew right back in. That's the thing about spring training, that the elements play a little bit more than what you would have in the during the season. Ball would normally stay out. Not like I was trying to hit it towards left though today.
No.
This guy will.
Robert Hassel III had a heck of a start to his spring training. See his numbers there last year in the minors as he came back from hamate bone surgery. Had the hamate bone removed after the 2022 campaign, but told me the other day he didn't really feel like the inflammation, the discomfort was gone from that hand wrist area until maybe midway through last season.
And in that time, he had already tried to adjust his swing, and so things were off as far as mechanics. And now you got a full offseason of being healthy, getting everything right, what you're normal. I mean, because this guy, from all accounts in the Padres system, was probably their best hitter. Like, hitter.
Yeah. That's his calling card. They call him Bobby Barrels, and he's found the barrel a bunch so far this spring. Takes ball 3. Coming into this plate appearance, 4 for 8 this spring. The triple, a homer, and a walk to go along with it.
The homer was so impressive too. Pitch up and away yesterday going to left field on a line. Like, it was an absolute rocket, just like that.
Just like that one down the left field line. Robert Hassel III wearing out the left side of the field this spring. Travis Blankenhorn will slam on the brakes, or rather Juan Yepes, sorry, as Robert Hassel III, another extra base hit, his 3rd in 9 at-bats this spring.
Well, the beauty of this pitch on the outside part of the plate, look at his body. You see that top half go towards that ball, stay on it, line it down the line. Just a beautiful swing. Great approach by him, but that's the consistent approach that he's had. I think more and more as he gets into this thing, we're going to start seeing him pull the ball as he learns how to pull the ball. But I I mean, center field to left, that's his calling card.
Here is Travis Blankenhorn with 2 in scoring position after the Hassel double. Yeah.
That's all it was. Great catch last inning. Or was that 2 innings ago? Last inning.
Tough to tell, really.
Yeah, they all merge into one.
Blankenhorn, a stint with the Nationals last year. Reached free agency this offseason and chose to sign back with the Nats on a minor league deal. Takes that one low, and it's 2-1. He's got 3 hits in his 4 spring at-bats with a double and a triple in there. Travis Barrels?
No, Travis Blankenhorn.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
This one reaches the seats. See, there you go. That foul pop up with the wind.
With the wind helps out. He's like, yes, get going. No, I mean, what we did see last year from him is that he came up, and then when he did put the ball in play, I mean, he put the ball in play hard. A lot of hard hit balls. Just not a lot of opportunity to get there, but another one of those guys that has shown in the past, in minor leagues especially, he can hit.
Down on strikes here, and there's 2 outs in the 7th. So here's Israel Pineda. Israel appeared in 4 games with the Nats in 2022. As mentioned, battled injuries last season, appearing in just 41 games across 3 levels.
Was it finger?
Finger issue in there, right finger fracture suffered in spring training, and then an oblique issue as well. Those can be troublesome, as we know.
Yeah, those are ones with, gosh, hard to describe them. It just hurts all the time, everything you do. And you think you're right, and it just takes that one little
sneeze or something.
Sneeze, yeah.
Lays off the high fastball to make it 2-2. Back in 2022, put up big numbers at Double-A Harrisburg. Started out at Wilmington, 67 games there. Bumped up to Harrisburg, where he hit .280 in 26 games. 7 homers in that time. Three and 2. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch.
So the Nats get 2 in scoring position, but can't capitalize. They hold a 1-run lead to the 8th. Nationals baseball on Masson is brought to you by Central Atlantic Toyota. Better availability means better deals at your Toyota dealer. Shop buyatoyota.com. To the 8th. Another familiar face on the mound for the Nationals, Joe LaSorsa. Claimed off waivers from the Rays last year. 23 appearances with the Nationals at the big league level, pitched to a 4.76 ERA. You see his numbers there between Tampa and the Nats.
Just a different look, too, that they had. I mean, just someone that was different for a while, just for the fact that they had a left-hander in the pen. Some really quality outings that he showed with the good sinker. What was it in Philly where he toughed out? We saw a couple like 94s and 5s. We're like,
yeah, he was fired up, pitching in front of a lot of family and friends. Native of Westchester County, New York. Same county as Josiah Gray. Gets some soft contact there by Nick York to make it 2-2. Yeah, the energy and the enthusiasm is never lacking for Joe LaSorsa. We showed those clips of him pitching for Team Italy in the WBC last spring. Fired up coming off the mound. York sends this one out to left center. Hassel over, and he makes the play for out number 1.
I mean, that's the other thing that, you know, talking to Mike Rizzo the other day about it, having the amount of center fielders they have on this team, he goes, Robert Hassel might, of all the youngsters, might be the best one of them defensively.
Yeah, we think about all the grounds that James Wood can chew up. We think about Dylan Cruz, his athleticism.
You know, one guy that we don't have here in camp, but Elijah Green is you know, just as good as anybody out there. But I mean, Robert Hassel, his efficient routes. Sometimes you don't realize how fast he is based on the fact that he gets to the spot so quickly.
Plays the game with a lot of confidence, too. Robert Hassel III. Tap foul by Steven Scott. Make it 1-2.
But how big for him, just coming over in the trade and really, you know, it's different when you're young, 19, 20 years old, and trying to find those routines on with a new franchise, and then next year you come in and you just don't feel right based on health. To see where he's at right now, and Robert Hassel III, I mean, you can see it. Confidence is good.
Number 8 overall pick in 2020, taken by the Padres. So LaSorsa gonna get a 1-2-3 here in the 8th. The strikeout, fly out to center, and a ground out to the right side. Nationals 4-3 leaders late in West Palm.
Pirates are on sale. First 20,000 fans will receive an opening day reversible bucket hat presented by PenFed. Visit nats.com/opening day. Bob will be wearing it.
That's doubtful. I know that you will be wearing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the showing anything that we have.
Theo Denlinger for the Red Sox here in the home half of the 8th. We'll face Nasim Nunez. Nationals back-to-back years taking a player in the Rule 5 draft. Last year, Thaddeus Ward made it through the full season and stays in the Nationals organization. And now the Nats taking Nasim Nunez in the Rule 5 from the Marlins. Talented defensive infielder, switch hitter. We'll see what he has over the course of spring and the early part of the season.
Again, you're talking about a guy with such tremendous base running ability, instincts to go along with the defensive acumen that he has. You're not going to see big numbers offensively yet. But when you're talking about a guy like him, the 224 average, that's why sometimes we talk OPS, because there's certain things that set himself apart, and it's his ability to get on base, to understand when you have such a quality tool in your wheels. You got to be able to find a way to use them, and he does.
Hit 225 last year at AA Pensacola, but as Franny hinted at, the on-base percentage quite a bit higher, 341.
I mean, that's incredible.
At the Fall League, same thing. Hit 253 in 20 games. The Arizona Fall League on-base percentage 362.
Know thyself.
Let's work the count to 3-2 here. Grounds this one to the right side. And Nunez the first out in the 8th. These days, Franny, when there's not the pitcher hitting, there's not as much need for guys coming off the bench. As many pinch hitting situations the Nationals have, an everyday shortstop in C.J. Abrams. Not saying Nasim Nunez will not get opportunities, but it's probably easier to carry a backup infielder as a Rule 5 pick now than maybe it was 5-10 years ago, maybe more.
Because you could hide him.
Yeah.
Right? You can hide him a little bit more, but
don't need your full bench as much.
It was one of those that the Marlins just had no room on the 40-man to protect him. I don't think they were looking to lose him, right? I mean, it's someone that, hey, would you like, for a team that, you know, minus Tim Anderson signing of late, they don't have a lot of depth at the shortstop position.
Yep. Nice play up the middle. And Trey Lipscomb retired.
Good play by Nick York going across the back. But just the thing that you look at with young guys, especially, you know, when they get into camp, a new organization, do they stay themselves? Do they stay what they've shown in the past? They get better, obviously, you want that, but for a guy like Nunez who can get on base, find a way, use your wheels, create havoc, I mean, that's useful throughout the season.
Yep.
So is this guy.
Yeah, he might be kind of useful. Worked the count full last at bat and lined out to right. Off a lefty.
There's so much, like last year when I watched so much video of him, you know, or games live, whatever it may be with him, all I thought about was like John Olerud with him. Just for the, like, because he lays the bat on that shoulder and everything's so calm, nothing's at a rush. I mean, it's so easy.
Three and two.
So was that cheese right by him.
Yep.
I mean, that was nice and firm and easy from Denlinger. Did I nail that one?
You got it.
Nice. I can hardly see his name, so.
Wood, a ground ball left side. Hustling down the line, and he beats it out. Those long strides of James Wood, chewing up ground, made that a much tougher play for the third baseman than you might think, and James Wood aboard with 2 outs.
Well, this is what everyone was talking about the other day. Ground ball towards the first baseman and second baseman. Did you see how he did it? how he got down the line at 4:07?
Yeah, 4:07. Fastest time of anyone in spring training this year.
So the way I equate it with James Wood, what's the one thing that you never would talk about first with Shohei Ohtani? Is his running. And you talk about levers that are the same, like long legs that could just scoot. Very similar.
Diaz, a ground ball up the middle, flip to the bag, and throw beats Wood there this time. The Nats are done in the 8th. James Wood showing off all the tools in spring training the last couple days. Save here in spring.
Would he be leading? He has to be leading the grapefruit if it gets to the second save. Man, come on. Big for the arbitration number.
Get the first pitch swing from Tyler McDonough, who fouls it off. Well, this is, in all seriousness, Franny, something that Joe LaSorsa has that benefits him, the ability to go multiple innings. He did that a bunch of times for the Nationals last year. Went 3 2/3 one game against the Dodgers. Struck out 4, did not allow a run.
The one thing that we learned about quite a bit from Joe LaSorsa last year, besides the competitive fire that he has, is just his ability. Just something goes wrong behind him, he's like, whatever, I got it. Like it's just moving on, and you're going, wow, all right. Works quick. Doesn't mind the situation, whatever situation you bring him in. Attacks the strike zone.
Lined over to third. Keyboom gets his body around it. Long throw, and it gets by Yepez. Going to second is McDonough, in with a slide.
Uh-oh, snowball fight. Throwing it everywhere.
Keyboom did a good job getting behind that ball and gave Yepez a chance.
Yep.
Tying run in scoring position.
No doubles defense. You're seeing him right there on the line. Gets in front of it, gets his feet going, and a long hop. It just stays down on Juan Yepez. And as a first baseman, that is the hardest one because the ball is hitting right around the cut. And so you don't know whether to, it's a firm throw from Carter Keyboom. You don't know whether it's going to pop up on you. It's going to stay low. In that case, it hits the grass, stays low.
Swing and a miss from Nick Decker.
Like the whole time as a first baseman, you're evaluating that ball. You're just going, be long, be long, be long. It's either you want it to be completely short, not the in-between. That's the in-between right there at the cut.
Oh, 0-2.
But that's the part that we were talking about with Joe LaSorsa. I mean, an air behind him, things that, it should be an out, whatever. Moves along, gets first 2 pitches, first strike, right? It doesn't affect him in that case right there.
They give McDonough a hit, and then the E5 on the throw moves him to second. Front door on the breaking ball, and he got him.
Beauty. Talk about freezing a guy. Started at his front hit, the belt loop right there. No. Dang it. Nice job by Joe. Good response.
There's Alex Benellis. I feel like you see some lefties, Franny, start on the first base side of the rubber with a left-handed hitter up there, maybe with all hitters up there. La Sorsa from the far third base side of the rubber.
Part of it is he comes over from that low three-quarter release that he has, right? So if he starts way over there, it maybe not comfortable enough to get to that spot when he gets down the hill where he wants to start that slider like he did. It's gonna, like the vantage points. He wants to start on the third base side right here. He could start at the hip. If he's on the first base side, he's starting at, you know, probably the O.
Right.
A little easier to go the human target rather than the signage behind.
Yeah, a little better angle.
Yep.
Two and two. Lipscomb out there at short trying to keep McDonough close.
That's a good piece of hitting right there. That was a good slider. Stay on that pitch, not flail away after seeing the guy previously get frozen on it.
Misses, and it's 3-2.
Oh.
Got the edge. Benellis thought it was ball 4. Joe La Sorsa gets his second straight strikeout, and there's 2 outs in the ninth.
Couple sliders, and then you get this darted fastball on the outside part. You know how Benellis didn't think it was ball 4. He's going to toss it, but he's not fully committed towards first, right? He kind of just stepped back. I mean, he was trying to sell it one way, but you got to do the whole body.
It was a hopeful bat toss.
Right.
So with 2 outs now, here's Chase Mydroth. Sorsa trying to work around that infield single and error, putting the potential tying run in scoring position with nobody out.
Ooh.
Back door 0-2.
That was a good one. Loading up the strike zone attack. You can go fastball right at the hands. You can go backdoor slider, something buried in the dirt. Trust your. That's the new shake off with the tongue.
Ground ball to short. Lipscomb. Low throw. Yepes has this one, and that'll do it. Juan Yepes held the bag, held the baseball, and the Nationals hold a 4-3 win over the Red Sox.
Yeah, nice little day for the Nationals when you look at the hitters. Not a lot of strikeouts, put the ball play hard. Ran the bases well. I mean, clean it up on the defense side, that's fine. But you look at the things that stand out for me, especially on the pitching side, you look at, you know, Kyle Finnegan and Hunter Harvey. Just fantastic outings by them, and Joe La Sorsa closing it out with 2 quality innings to get his Major League Baseball leading second save here in spring training.
Joe La Sorsa having himself a spring. And the Nationals pick up another win. 4-3 over the Red Sox. We'll come back in a minute. Recap this one a little more as Davey Martinez has some happy high fives.
Constellation Home is